How do you find a cheap property for sale? How do you find a property that's such a good deal, that has so much profit in there, that you know it's going to be an absolute win? My name is Kris Krohn. If you're a subscriber to this channel, then you know that this channel is in service of helping you become financially free. In fact, I became financially independent at the age of 26, and today I want to share with you the simplest hack for how to find an amazing cheap property with loads of profit. Check it out.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
In a moment, I'm going to be bringing my buddy Burton on because he's going to share with you how to use a very simple free technology for finding incredible deals in your area. But before I do, I want to help you understand what it means to find a good deal. It goes back to this idea of equity. And what is equity? You see, if I find a property, and let's say that that property has a value of $100,000, and if I buy it for $100,000, I better be getting a killer cash flow. There better be great appreciation so that I can build a profit. But for many of you, when you're just getting started and you're doing real estate in your backyard, the safest thing you can do is get a discount. And that discount is what we call equity. So let's just say for a moment that you could actually purchase that property for $80,000, right here, $80,000 of the value. That means all of this, that leftover $20,000, that is what is known as equity. And here's the beautiful thing about finding a property with equity, like we're going to show you in just a second. Not only does your net worth go up $20,000, but it means you have a smaller mortgage, which means that your cash flow also goes up. So I want my cash flow to increase. And when my cash flow increases, what happens to my risk? It goes down. Why? Because now this property is maybe making me $300 or $400 a month cash flow as opposed to $200 or $300 a month cash flow. My net worth increases, I've got the cash flow, my risk goes down. Does that not feel like a win? Now here's the cool thing. If you really hang on my channel, I'm going to share with you that to not rent this property if it's in your backyard, but to do my special magical lease option system. This is where you can move someone into this home. On top of it, on average, they're going to give you $5,000 up front. They're going to give you higher cash flow than normal by usually $100 or $200. And when you go to sell this house in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, there's tens of thousands of dollars that comes back to you because of the appreciation, growth, passage of time, and because of the net worth that you bought it with. At the end of the day, here's what it means. Go find a property and make tens of thousands of dollars on it. And then you have to ask, how many of those do I need to do to become a millionaire? Well, if you use my system on average, we're talking about 15 homes. If you really soup it up, we're talking about 10 homes. And man, you got 10 fingers, you got 10 toes. You can count to 10. If you can count to 10, you can count to your next $1,000,000. However, as good and as amazing all this sounds, it doesn't matter if you can't freaking find one of these good deals. So let's fix that right now. I'm bringing on an expert that actually uses a software called PropStream. And PropStream is what I recommend to anyone that doesn't have a team in their back pocket to help them find the very best deals. There's no better system on the planet because what the software does is it actually pulls in the very best deals from discounted equity and short sales and foreclosures and distressed listings and vacant homes with problems. And basically, if there's a home out there with equity, this system knows it. It just needs you to sit down, pump in a couple of numbers, and find it. And today, we're just going to show you one application of this software. It's how to isolate properties with already equity in your backyard. What you're about to witness is absolutely game-changing. And when the video's done, in the link below, you can actually get a 5-day free trial of PropStream. And the company, because they like who I am and how big I've been in real estate with having done nearly $1 billion of real estate, that they actually take their services and chop them off and make it available so that everyone can afford it. It's the most powerful tool. So watch how in just the next 3 minutes, Burton is going to show you in your area, literally, how to find a deal loaded with equity so that we can turn this dream into your reality. Burton, to you, man.
Hey, Kris, we're back. Again, thank you for allowing us to share some more valuable information to your viewers. So without further delay, let's just dive into it. Today, guys, I'm going to be showing you a very popular filter. This one is in regards to our high equity category. The high equity category, what that represents are properties that have 50% or more in equity or up to 100,000 or more in equity. Now, here's the trick. Someone with equity in their property is not just going to sell you their property, right? But what we're going to want to do is essentially create a situation in which they would be willing to sell the property. And so this is a search that most our investors are doing right now To perform the search, again, search an area, go straight to filter, and then here at the top, you're going to choose whether you want an owner-occupied or non-owner occupied or both. Once you've made your selection, go ahead and choose high equity as your category for list type. And just like before, you're going to go ahead and choose the property type that you like and characteristics that you want. So let's say we want single family, built 1990 and after. We can also specify, just like in previous searches, that we don't want them on the market right now. We're trying to get to them before they decide to sell it with a broker. For those of you that perhaps want them to be very distressed, again, the idea is to build a distressed high equity property. So for those of you that want the highest distress homeowners, you can choose, for example, pre-foreclosures. So now we're going through all the high equity properties that are currently in the pre-foreclosure status. Or if it's too competitive, or you need more time than the average 4 weeks or 6 weeks that a property in pre-foreclosure has before the auction, we can do other things that I can think of. For example, maybe we're looking for an owner that's lived there for many, many years. They perhaps might be willing to now downgrade or looking into a retirement plan. The other thing that we can do is, for example, if pre-foreclosures are too competitive or we need more time, we can create an early stage of distress, like a high equity property that has a tax lien recorded against it with a minimum of, let's say, $7,000 or more. Once you've made your criteria, you're going to go ahead and hit apply, and boom, we've, in this case, went from 154,000 recordings to 404 high equity properties that currently have a tax lien of $5,000 or more attached to their property. So the idea here is we now would want to skip trace it or perhaps make contact with these owner, talk to them about the scenario, and hopefully if we're wholesaler or fix and flippers, we can get them to negotiate a better price, or a price that would be happy for both parties. With that said, I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have any questions, make sure to guys reach out to us here at our customer support line. Back to you, Kris.
Hey, kid you not, right? Like I said it was simple, I said it was easy. How dumb is that? This company paid millions of dollars to take all this public and private information, squish it into a system so it doesn't matter where you live, you can sit down on your couch, you can do the same thing. So here's what you need to do right now. In the description, there's a link. When you click the link, there's gonna be a free trial. You're gonna sign up for your free trial and then rewatch this video and copy during those 3 minutes exactly what Burton did. And then it's gonna pull up a list of deals in your area. And guess what? We just helped you, Ninja, get out there and make wealth real by making real estate happen today, this moment, as in right now. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Listen, if you enjoyed this and you want to keep getting cutting edge results on how you can beast it in wealth, finance, business, and real estate and emotional fitness, you'll find it all right here on the Kris Krohn channel. All you got to do is subscribe, ring that bell, and tomorrow we got another video coming your way.